President's report and our regular meeting review. I would like to, with Mrs. Foglio's departure, this required some shuffling amongst our committees. And so at this time, I would just like to mention that Mr. Simeone has agreed to serve on the Economic Development Committee, and that meets afternoon after work, so he has agreed that he's gonna be able to try to fit that in his schedule. So we appreciate that. With that, then Mrs. Mills has moved to the Finance and Personnel Committee in the morning, and then I have assumed that role as a chair for Finance and Personnel. So I have made those changes to the committees. I believe in last year, the council requested that we have a voice vote on that. So with those changes, I would like to request a voice vote to approve those changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so the changes will take place. Thank you. The changes will take place, and Ms. Milberg, you'll make note of those on the thing.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
There's still an opening in safety forces.
Pardon?
There's still a
Still an
vacancy in
opening on safety forces, yes. And so, Mr. Guerrero has inquired, also the deadline for the applications for the Democratic Party has been moved. I believe it was originally the 12th or something, the 17th maybe? Maybe the 17th, but it's been moved to the 31st of July. I guess they wanted to publish it in the paper. There was a call or a request that that be done. So the deadline now for the council position is July 31st. And I believe that's in the paper every so many days that they're requesting that. And then, in speaking with the chairman of the party, she said they hope to do interviews the first week of August. And then I don't know what their process will be after they've conducted interviews. But we're probably looking at maybe being without a counselor in Ward 1, probably maybe, till September, hopefully not, but probably till September. So we'll keep working towards that. All right, is there anything else for the president's report?
I do have a question, and it's the same question that I ask after each of these appointments. Again, what's the procedure or the policy for how folks are assigned or serve on committees?
And I think we've had this discussion several different times. A lot of it is what the counselor is available to do, what are they able to do, and then the president of the council, I guess, figures out a way that all the committee assignments could be met and served, and then that's how it's pretty much been decided.
So the last time this came up and I asked the question, I believe, and I stand corrected, I believe you said that an invitation is sent out or a request to see which counselors are interested, and then there's a period of time by which any counselor who's interested simply sends an email and shares their interest, and then a decision was made.
That I think was for hiring committees and special committees. Yeah, that's for hiring committees and special committees.
So then what is the procedure in this case?
Like I said, the standing committees have always just been appointed. Usually they don't, there's not much fluctuation in them. For example, the Economic Committee has had the same membership for several years, the Public Works Committee. So usually there's not much fluctuation. Probably the most recent thing was I was the head of the Safety Forces Committee. After Mr. Guerrero had been on council for a couple months and felt comfortable here on council, I asked him to take over that committee. So it's just, I guess, a real informal kind of thing, and we see how how councilors can best serve on these various committees.
And
Now-
again, who decides, counselors of interest, or is there another procedural way that this happens?
I'm sorry, is it counselor's interest or?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find out what is a standing, consistent way that this happens. So what's the structures that we have in place when changes like this occur?
There again, I think it's what's possible, what counselors, I mean, sometimes it's what counselors are available.
And how is that found out?
I don't know, what do you mean, how is that found out?
You mentioned availability,
Right.
so how is it decided,
Mr. President,
counselors' availability?
I don't know all of the, but if memory serves me correct, when I became the chairman of the safety forces, you just asked me, can you be chairman of the safety forces? And I just said yes. And I was assigned to be just a council person at large on Public Works, on Mrs. Mills' committee. I don't remember a procedure. I think that was at your discretion, if
Yeah.
memory serves me correct.
I think I asked you, I think knowing that you were available during the day and Public Works met during the day, and so I don't know if I asked you or just assigned you, but I think that was part of the reasoning behind that. Like with Mr. Simeone going to the Economic Development Committee, I know he's not available during the daytime. So when this position came open, the thought was maybe he could fill it in, or if we want to wait for the new person, we don't know what the new person's work situation is going to be, if they're going to be a full-time employee, a retired person, we don't know what their situation will be.
And how is it that one acquires this information?
What information, Ms. Holman?
The things that you just mentioned, availability, interest, whatever the criteria is. Because what I'm hearing is that maybe it's the president's discretion, and it's not based on experience, background, availability, and education if it's not asked of the counselors.
Yeah, I imagine a lot of it is the president's discretion. It was that way before I got here, and it's been that way since I've been here. And certainly, like I said, I don't know what, I guess for a long time, and I know you don't like past practices and so forth, but there was not really much of an issue to it. When I came on council, I was assigned a committee, and I went to that committee, and so that's what we've been doing.
So for the record, I'd like it added into the minutes that
Okay.
Counselor Holman is recommending or would suggest some sort of consistent standard procedure by which counselors are either given the opportunity to serve or assigned, and that it be based on some criteria, whether it's experience, background, availability, education, some sort of fair process, as opposed to one person's discretion or assignment.
All right, thank you very much. But I will just say, I do think I am fair in allocating these committee assignments, but,
Mr. Chairman,
yes,
if I might, the Rules of Council, Rule 16, Part 1A, talks about forming the committees, that standing committees shall be appointed with input from each member of council and a simple majority approval of council.
yes,
Doesn't have a criteria, but it
right,
talks about how they're appointed.
okay. Thank you very much.
And so with that, you did mention input from each member. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we will move on. Anything else for the president's report?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'm not sure if now is the time or not, but is requesting a resolution for somebody, is that now, or?
Yeah, we could do that now.
Okay, I was wondering, so our past Assistant Finance Director, Mrs. Carolyn Sheldon, she's retired, and we had a little event for her. Mr. Khan put on a very, very nice event for her last Friday. And I know President Roskovitz and I attended that, and it was, I just think after 37 years of dedication and service, that we could honor her just in informal conversation. She's totally dedicated to the city. She's going to miss it. She said how much she loved working here. I mean, it's hard to find somebody that says, I love working at my job for 37 years, but she really did. And how many times she was going to leave, and then we kind of reeled her back in. Can you help a little longer? And she never said no. So I don't know, do we have to vote on that or something? But I'd like
You're
to,
requesting a resolution
Yeah.
honoring Carolyn Sheldon. I will
Yeah.
second that.
okay.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? So we will have a resolution presented. Ms. Milberg, you will be able to do that for us. You've written some very nice resolutions, so if you could do that for us. I'm sure Mr. Khan will give you some input. That would be great.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for, Mrs. Mills, for thinking of that. Very nice. Yeah, 37 years. It was and Mr. Khan, it was very nice party. Very good. Good job. Next time we have a party, we're calling on you for whatever. Okay. Mr. Manager, do you have some information for us tonight?
I do, thank you, Mr. President. First, I know this was mentioned at the Finance Committee meeting. I'd like an ordinance to apply for, accept, and enter into a Water Pollution Loan Fund, WPCLF, agreement on behalf of the City of Ashtabula for planning, designing, and/or construction of wastewater facilities, and designated Fund 504 as the dedicated repayment source for the loan. Reason we need to get this in now, this will allow us to meet the August deadline to apply. If we don't hit this one, we would have to wait till December to apply. As you know, we've been in the planning stages for repairs and upgrades at the water pollution control plant itself. The estimate right now that we're working with and that we'll be asking for in the loan is $23 million with a completion date in 2029. So the first payment would not be due until 2030. But this includes things like putting in a redundant centrifuge and removing the old press belt that's there, new centrifuge controls, replacing all of the lids on the digesters and also having those cleaned out, work to the admin building and some of the other tanks. Lots of different repairs that would go on down there. What's not included right now is the aeration tanks, the grit removal improvements. We had talked about putting in a SCADA system, which is it's like a notification system when things go wrong at the plant, that it would send out text messages or messages to certain individuals. Chemical feed improvements and no fleet vehicle acquisitions would be part of this. So it's a lot of work that's going to go into this. It still does have to go out to bid. It is a big project, so we do anticipate getting good bids on it. And again, the completion date of 2029, mostly because the acquisition of these materials is going to take a long time putting them together. So again, first payment would not be due until 2030. After we get all those bids in and everything, the loan would be adjusted to match what those bid amounts is. Any questions on that?
I do. I may have missed it. What's the repayment period for this loan?
I hesitate because I think we've discussed both 15 and 30 year, but we would know, we'll have all those details along with the interest rate at the time that would come back to council once we have this all approved. Not when we have it approved, before we have it approved.
Okay, you want it to go on the agenda, or you want us to approve it tonight?
Tonight is just allow me to make application, and then the acceptance of, and the bids and everything come at a later time.
Another question. What is your sense as to how long this has gone unattended to?
Major upgrades like this, we did a few when I first started. We did we transferred from chlorine gas to UV processes. We rebuilt both of the final settling tanks when I came on board. So there have been upgrades and projects all along of this magnitude. It's been a long time. And this, again, is just addressing what's going on at the plant. There's another whole scope of work that's planning right now that's going on for the collection system itself. So those are two separate projects that we have running simultaneously. We're not even close to being ready to bid that out yet, but we have work that we can do down at the plant.
And is the majority of this required to get us up to code or some
No, we're
nice to
meeting,
have?
we're meeting the requirements of the MPDS permit. These help us stay that way. And again, you have a plant that runs 24/7, 365, that's been around since 1924. There are just things that you have to replace on an ongoing basis. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Mr. Manager,
Yes.
do
Oh,
we,
I'm sorry.
yeah, since for the move in the outfall, so the spring mixing zone, did we get anything back on that yet?
The results were favorable. We had a meeting actually today, a conference Zoom call, a Teams call with the EPA, going over the data and some adjustments that we may have to make in the next mixing zone study. But this one was favorable. It's showing
Then
that
we're
it's
on to the summer one.
Correct.
We'll go, so we're on schedule.
There's a lot of coordination that goes in with this because we have to have a 10-day window where there's no ships in or out of the slip, because that affects the mixing of that slip. So it's a lot of coordination with Kinder Morgan and with our staff, and again, getting the equipment here to actually do the study. This piece of equipment there's very few and far between of these in the United States. So there's a lot of logistics that go into doing these studies.
Yeah, well, thank you to everybody that's involved with that, because I know I was looking at that sort of timeline, thinking it's like almost impossible. It's like real tight, so.
Very.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks.
And yeah, that water pollution plant is one of our most valuable assets, and I think it's important we take care of it. I'm sure in 40 years from now, people are gonna sit back and say, boy,
We'll be doing it all over again by
we're
then.
doing it all again by then. I think they're gonna
Yeah.
sit back and say, that city manager and council, boy, they were so smart to do that. I don't know if that did, but anyway, it's a good thing we're doing it, I think. And Mr. Vizzello, what a gem. I mean, the guy knows his stuff.
Yes, he does.
So
Yeah,
that's
we are very lucky to
yeah,
have him.
He's
Yep.
just a gem to have. Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Timoney?
So that was just the first one. Also on your agenda for tonight, I believe, is disposal of obsolete equipment, vehicles, requesting an ordinance to dispose of the second round of obsolete and unneeded vehicles due to their age and condition. We're approaching about 20 vehicles that we're trying to get together for this. We do like an auction, a bid for them. A lot of them are not drivable anymore. They've been sitting around for a long time, but we'll get scrap value out of them. But once we get this passed through council, we'll be able to put together the final packet to get rid of these vehicles.
I do have a question on that. So if somebody was interested in those obsolete vehicles, you said there is an auction for it?
Well, it's not, it's a sealed bids, so it'll be in the paper. It'll describe all of the vehicles. We'll probably have it on our website as well. It'll describe all the vehicles, and then people just submit how much they would pay for whatever particular vehicle they want.
So the highest person wins?
Highest person wins.
What if nobody bids?
Then we try to negotiate with a scrap yard to come and get it, and we just get the scrap value for it.
But you usually get bidders?
Yes, yes, we do.
Okay.
It's usually the scrappers that come and want the vehicles. Yeah.
Mr. Manager, so when I was reading in there, it says you put the money back in 504 and the 412.
Yes.
Do they split that, like 50/50, or does
It's
it depend on
dependent
the?
where the vehicle was purchased at. So
Gotcha.
504 is water pollution, so the jet's in there, the old jet is, I believe, is on there. So that money
So
would
it's
go
from
back
that
to.
department? It
Correct.
kinda- Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. All right, thanks.
And then lastly, this isn't on your agenda for tonight, but a future meeting, we've had a request for a CRA residential tax abatement for, with River and Rail Development, Inc. It's a residential construction. They're going to use this for long-term rental at 725 East 15th Street. They're requesting 100% for 7 years.
Actually a nice house.
Mr. President, that's all I have for my report tonight.
Mr. Timoner, where are we with looking at our CRA process? I know you and your committee, or your staff was, looking into some stuff, so.
I guess, at some point, we'll come back to the committee meeting, economic development, and present again. We haven't done much with it since the last time we spoke, just busy doing other things, but we can, whenever there's time on the agenda in the committee meeting, we're happy to have the conversation again.
Any idea about how much time? Because we can just think about whether or not.
I don't know what you have scheduled out. I know the next one's going to be probably packed, but
in
September.
August,
I don't know what you have out from
No,
there.
I don't have anything after
September.
August.
Okay.
Thank you.
I would just add, at the Architectural Review Board last week or 2 weeks ago, however long it's been, one of the developers was there who's planning on building another duplex down in the area there, and he mentioned, I forget how many, I want to say 5, maybe 5, 6, or 4 or 5, somewhere in there, multiple homes going up in the historical district, valued at, he's guessing $1.25 million or $1,300,000. And he looked specifically at me. I was sitting over there, and he goes, and that's because of the tax abatement. And he said, if there wasn't tax abatement, there wouldn't be that over $1 million worth of development. So I just think, that's an important thing that we remember. All right,
Mr. President, can I ask Mr. Timoner some questions?
yes.
So this was asked, and I'm not a concrete person, I don't know how concrete works. But do the sidewalks on Main Avenue, do those need to be sealed?
I believe they don't have to be, but I believe we do have, I'll have to double check, but I believe we talked about this, that there would be a sealer going on it. Regardless, when all is said and done, we will be telling the Main Avenue merchants to not use salt, that there's a certain
Ice melt.
ice melt to use, thank you, other than salt when you have new concrete down.
Okay, but, so you don't know about the sealer yet?
I know we had discussed it, I believe it's in
Well,
the bid, but we will double check.
There was a change in policies with newer, my eyes just gloss over when you start talking about construction. So, but that's good, you're gonna seal them, good, good.
I believe that was in the bid, I will double check on that for you.
Thank you. And then, and I know I emailed you about this. So on Samuel Avenue, there is a blind resident, and walking has been hazardous to him because of the broken sidewalks. And he has a seeing eye dog, but there have been dogs that are running loose and that they attack the seeing eye dog. So I know the sidewalks are the responsibility of, the property owner, but do we do any enforcement with sidewalks?
We really haven't done much enforcement on sidewalks, but we do have the replacement program that we inform people about, where we cover a portion of the concrete if they decide to have their sidewalks replaced.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? We will go on to
Mr. President?
Yes,
I do have one question. Mr. Manager, I noticed, I was riding my bike around, and I noticed by the It'd be the, I guess you call it the trestle bridge. It goes across the Gulf. Are they, and then when I was by East 51st, you know, it's like you can't go down the hill anymore, and there's all those dozers and all that. And then I noticed going across the bridge, all those big boulders. So how is that working for that new bridge? Where are they at on that?
They're in construction, so
Okay.
I don't think the bridge will be completed till later in 2028.
wow.
But
Okay.
they actually will be building that bridge right underneath the current bridge. And then when they get to a certain point at the top, the old bridge comes out and then they finish it off. That rail line will not be closed for very long at all, the way that they do this. They're actually building a smaller bridge next to it that will go over the river in order to move the cranes back and forth on. We have been trying to talk to Norfolk Southern about leaving that bridge when they're all done with it as one of our river crossings for the potential trails that are down in the Gulf.
Okay,
So,
all right.
not sure where that will go, but we're gonna ask.
And I was wondering, because I remember the Shays project, they were talking about like doing something at Christmas time. And so now we're into July, and they were thinking of soft opening. Have you heard is there any more movement on Shays?
I have not, I don't know when they intend to do their soft opening,
Kind
but,
of open or?
yep.
Okay. There was another one. So I sent you an email today about some stuff on with swimming pools. So that was another one. I'm driving my bicycle around, and when you're going through the alleyways, I found one person who had an address on theirs, but I can't remember what was the legality for putting the addresses on the homes in the alleys that we had voted on.
I don't remember what the date was, but I thought it was in
I thought it
September.
was the end of the summer.
Yeah, I thought it was September, maybe.
Is that what it was? Okay. So they got letters, and then is that sort of the, okay,
Honestly, I will have to ask.
okay. It makes it easy, because if not, then you're going through, and then you have to count how many houses and what color, and you drive around the block, and then you're like, which one is it? And so I could see how, in an emergency, you have no idea what the address is from the back. Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, I have one more question. Sorry, I forgot to bring one more thing up. And I know this has been a hard-to-solve problem, but I'm getting a lot of complaints about Cornelius Park, just how that looks with all of the belongings hanging over. Some veterans feel very disrespected that is Kevin Cornelius Park. So I'm bringing it up because I would like us to come up with a solution. I don't know what that solution is, but to me, it seems that there's a lot of damage that is done. One person that was at the library said there was a stack of 20 pizza boxes, and then they were walking in the library lawn, and it's like they were playing frisbee with the actual pizzas. So it's the trash, it's the appearance. When I had the salon, I always believed that people made it, that first impression was 3 steps or 3 seconds into the door, like, I like it, I don't like it. And I think the fear is that when people are driving by that, it's just leaving an impression of, I don't like it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Khan, do you have something for us this evening?
Thank you, Mr. President. We don't have anything.
Nothing this evening, okay, very good. Ms. Cooper?
Nothing new to report.
Yeah, all right, very good. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. And Ms. Milberg?
I have nothing to report.
There's no ribbon cuttings or anything to be concerned with?
Not in the immediate.
Not in the immediate future?
Next
Okay,
meeting.
very good. All right, thank you. All right, so we will go on with our committee reports, community development, economic development.
So, there is a new skate park down at Walnut Beach, and, I think it's going over pretty well. I think people really like it. I think they enjoy it. It's been a community effort. Recently at South Park, there was a cleanup, which our city workers participated in. It was kind of community and city people involved, and I think they did a fantastic job. It looks wonderful. And a lot of people have been reaching out to me, asking how they can become involved in these cleanups. And so anything that coming down the pike going forward, I'll certainly make those announcements here so people can get involved. Our next community development meeting is Wednesday, August 5th at 5:30. And our guest is Policy Matters Ohio, and the subject is data centers.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. DiGiacomo.
Mr. President,
Yes,
Mrs. DiGiacomo, if you want to put that this Wednesday at 9 o'clock, the Historic Harbor, we're cleaning up down there at 9 o'clock. Any volunteers, anybody who wants to clean a little spruce up before Wine and Walleye?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So I think you just come and they'll have some supplies or whatever, you know, wear your gloves or whatever. But, yeah, thank you.
all right, very good. Finance and Personnel Committee, we did have a meeting last Friday. I'll try to get through this quickly as I can. Mr. Khan presented us an income tax report. Correct me if I say anything wrong, because you're the expert. And he said it's a very positive trend in our general fund. June collections exceeded those of any prior June on record. So that's a good thing. And then I know his department is working on going after accounts that haven't been collected, that are in arrears and so forth. And 8,500 accounts of that nature. They've sent out 600 letters so far, and they're developing a way to collect some of that tax money that is owed to the city from years past. I think we said 6 years? 3 years. 3 years, going back for 3 years, trying to collect some of that money that is owed to the city. And that certainly is a wonderful thing, and certainly has been a boon and a positive effect on our financial situation. So kudos for you and your department for doing that. That's a lot of extra work, a lot of studying and so forth. So that we talked about the income tax and the collection of those accounts and the arrears. I did ask about, there was some mention of the JED districts, and hoping to add more accounts to those and stabilizing the revenue that occurs in those. I did ask about, you know, with all the talk about these AI centers and how that, say, because I know we don't have the room here, but I was thinking Saybrook or Plymouth or Ashtabula Township, if they were doing something with the AI data centers, how that would affect our JED district. And I just think that was something interesting. Mr. Verzella had an interesting take on it by saying, because I guess part of the thing with, they use so much water, and use intense use of water. And Mr. Verzella says that that is something that we as the city have control over. We can control how much water a new user is allowed to send to us. For example, Starbucks was a new user, and then, you know, we anticipate them sending X number of gallons. And then if a AI center, and they were gonna send XXX number of gallons, then the city would have the opportunity to say, we can't do that, I believe. So that was an interesting thing, I think, especially now with all these discussions taking place on that we at least have some control over that. Then Mr. Khan talked about the various funds, cash on hands. He talked about some that are short and how that will all average out, all even out as the year goes along. And then we talked about, you know, developing a new policy for borrowing from our general fund. You know, recently we borrowed from our general fund to get a garbage truck. And then we also, did we get a new garbage? No, just a used garbage truck.
Used one.
We borrowed for a used garbage truck, and then we borrowed the money for,
Containers.
thank you, the recycling containers and the garbage containers. So we borrowed that from our general fund. But it's important, I think, that we have some kind of policy that states when we should do this, or when we think it's a wise thing to do, or an advisable thing to do. And I guess this is a policy that exists in other places. I guess other communities already have a policy. Ms. Cooper, you don't know? Okay. Okay, sorry. I think that there is some talk about where other communities have a policy that indicates when it's a good time to borrow and when it's not a good time. The one thing that we did talk about was, you know, Ashtabula, in our recent past, 10 years or so, we were in financial, I don't want to say ruin, but we had a negative balance. Would that be accurate to say? About 10 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe a little bit longer.
Mr. President, I don't think we had a negative balance, but we were running awful darn close. I know that we had to carry over about 200,000 when I
Yeah, we
started.
didn't have much of a carryover. Yeah, there we go. So thank you for a clarification on it. So we didn't have much of a carryover. And so our goal is to not find ourselves in that situation again. So Mr. Khan is going to research and he has some knowledge of this because he has been around the different communities, that a community our size probably should have more money on reserve than we currently do. And I think part of that is because, like I said, we've come from a place where we weren't doing so well. Now we are doing well, but we could probably do better. And that's what I think we want to shoot for. I think he said he knew of one community our size had, like a $10 million general fund surplus. So maybe that's something that we should be shooting for so that we could, feel more comfortable about going to that account. But he's going to research that. We're going to do some research on the borrowing practices. And I think that was pretty much what we talked about. And our next meeting is going to be, I hate to say this, August 21st, because that's a long time in August, 21st. So that's our third Thursday. Also, at the end of the meeting, we acknowledge Ms. Sheldon. That was her last time to being at our Finance and Personnel Committee meeting. And we so appreciated her over all these years, and we wished her well on her retirement. So that was a Finance and Personnel Committee report. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. Khan, I would just like to ask you, when you do your research, to look at comparable cities, because I knew cities and states, because a couple of ones that came up one was a state, was Connecticut. Connecticut's income per capita is very different than ours. And I know Cambridge, Massachusetts came up. Having gone to Harvard and lived in Cambridge area, I know that their income is very different than what we have in Ashtabula. I was quite surprised when you said that our average income was $26,000. That was pretty shocking to me to hear that. Good information to know, but as you continue to research, just make sure that some of the parameters or criteria that you're using are aligned with Ashtabula. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, Public Works and Public Utilities.
Yes, our next meeting is next Tuesday, July 28th, here at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, Mrs. Mills. Safety Forces,
Yes, Mr. President. We did meet, and Chief Stell from the Police Department reported we've had a high volume of calls, over 1,800 calls during the month of June, which he attributes to the summer season, and we're getting one right now, so that's very on cue. There were 51 adult traffic arrests recorded in the month of June. The police department is thinking of a formation of a new targeted traffic unit made up of 6 officers, which will focus on enforcement on identified problem areas throughout the city for some, traffic protection up and above what we normally have. The department right now, though, is currently short-staffed. We have 3 officers on injured leave. Is that still accurate? And we do have some retiring, and I think a couple people left. So we are short-staffed. The significant improved fireworks enforcement over the 4th of July holiday. 18 individuals criminally charged and substantial quantities of fireworks were seized. Approximately 20 golf cart permits have been issued to date, with no citations having been issued. The civil service entrance exam for police officer candidates is scheduled for the end of July, and the sign-up deadline was July 17th. At that time of the meeting, they had 2 applicants had been received for that. On the fire department side, the overall call volume is at an all-time high and is expected to continue to rise through the remainder of the year. Ambulance responses and corresponding revenue are also trending upward. Fire incidents are slightly down. Chief Cannon has interviewed 9 candidates who passed the physical agility test. 4 of the 5 candidates were described as strong prospects. There's going to be 2 promotions in the fire department. A lieutenant will be promoted to captain, and an engineer will be moving up to lieutenant. So we have those tests to conduct. The city manager reported that the planned installed of the radar speed sign on the eastbound side of Bridge Street is completed. I see it. I go past it every day. It seems to be working fairly well. And I also see that is the other one still on West Street?
West Avenue.
West Avenue.
Yes.
That's also, I see that. That's the one that can be moved.
Correct.
Thank you.
could I ask a question about, I had a lady in Ward 3 ask me, because she saw the sign, she wanted to know if it could be moved to her neighborhood, but she was thinking Route 20. Are we allowed to put that sign on Route 20 or not?
We could, it would, the reason I'm hesitating is because of the 2 lanes.
Yeah, that's what I
The, it really, the direction of the way that it's pointing, it kind of gets the lane closest to the curb, so I'm not sure how effective it would be on Route 20. But yeah, this is our first run at it. We'll see how this works, but
I told her
the
I-
one that's on West Avenue, that's movable, so
That's good,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll
And
be
I
able to
told her
move
I
that
would
one
check,
around.
so, all
Yep.
right, thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Green.
That's okay. Mr. Timoney also reported that the reconfiguration of the intersection on East 24th Street and Harbor Avenue. The only modification is that the southbound traffic on Harbor Avenue turning westbound on the East 24th Street will now require a full stop rather than a yield. This was a code enforcement requirement from the manual on uniform traffic control devices. We really didn't have much to say about that, so it is what it is. And then also, all like the other committees, we don't get too many visitors, so everyone is more than welcome to show up at a Safety Forces Committee. And, you know, we get a little lonely in there. And the next meeting will be on August 13th.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
Mr. President,
Yes,
Mr. Guerrero, I just might add that a number of people work during the day, and unfortunately, it's a bit challenging for folks,
You are correct, the meeting is at 8:30 in the morning, which
prevent some folks from being able to participate.
that could be. For those people, you're more than welcome to come here to our meeting.
all right, thank you. All right, there was a planning commission meeting last week. I believe they approved another one of the electronic signs for one of the churches on Route 20. And so those seem to be quite popular. They're very, you know, we were approving a lot of the electronic signs. Maybe when we get the billboard down over here, City Hall can get an electronic sign over there. I know, I'm being difficult, but yeah, thank you. All right, and then the Historic Preservation Committee also met. They approved a new door on a building down the harbor. That was replacing their entrance door. They came to the committee, they approved some paint colors for one of the buildings down on Bridge Street. And then they had the preliminary plans for some new townhomes and I don't think they're condos, townhomes and, you know, side-by-side homes that are going to be going up down there in that neighborhood. And like I said, that's over $1.25 million worth of investment down there in the harbor, just in the historical area alone. So they approved that. And it was interesting that the building that was recently completed on the corner of Franklin and Fourth, before it was completed, it already had 2 tenants from out of town who have come here to work. I don't know if they're on what kind of temporary work assignment, but they were already rented before they even had their driveway poured. So that's a good thing, you know, to see that kind of development. So that was the Historic Preservation Committee. All right, we will continue on. New business or proposed legislation. Anybody have anything they'd like to comment on any of that? Old business or legislation for second reading?
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. Manager, and I can't remember what you said on the paving for, is it Halbert? Is that
Next year.
next year?
That's next year. Yes.
Okay. So would that be on that cycle of, like how it's, you know, because it's grant funding, is that different than how we do our?
No, we had 2
paving
years
one?
to spend it. We don't have the capacity to do it this year.
Okay,
Yep.
okay. So that hasn't went out to bid or hasn't?
No,
any
that'll
of that
be
stuff?
put together over the winter time and will be bid over the winter.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Anything else, Mrs. Mann?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then is there any discussion for the good of the order?
Yeah, Mr. President, I do have something.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero.
You know, at the end of in between the break of the meeting last week, or 2 weeks ago, I made some comments that were not supposed to be public, but the microphones definitely work here, and everybody heard. So I'd like to make an apology. At the last council meeting, I made some comments off the record that had nothing to do with city business. I apologize to anyone that was offended by my comments. At the end of the day, I was wrong to make the comments. I especially want to apologize to Rosemary Brunados, who's a friend of mine. All she does is a lot of good things for this community, and we're lucky to have her. Once again, I was in the wrong, and I am sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Guerrero. Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, seeing nothing, I have 6:50, so we have 10 minutes before we will begin our regular council meeting at 7 o'clock. So you have 10 minutes to take a break. You got that prayer?
I don't have it. Probably good, forgot all about it.
I'm going to call the meeting, the city council meeting for the city of Ashtabula to order. Today is Monday, July 20th, 2026. If at this time we could all stand for a prayer and a pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to let your inspiration precede this council's actions and all present here today, and your assistance further us so that every word and work of ours may take its beginning from you, and so begin, may though you reach its completion. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Milberg, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Holman,
Present.
Mrs. Mills,
Here.
Mrs. DiGiacomo,
Here.
Mr. Guerrero,
Here.
Mr. Simeone,
Here.
Mr. Roskovich,
Here.
Mr. Timonier,
Here.
Ms. Cooper, Mr. Khan.
Here.
Okay, we are all here. No one needs to be excused from tonight's meeting. Just once again, a reminder, we are down one counselor, so tonight, we have 6 counselors present. Any vote that is 3-3 will result in a failure. Any vote that is 4-2 will pass, but we'll have to wait 30 days for implementation. We are meeting the Sunshine Law, and at this time, we will have the reading of tonight's legislation.
Ordinance number 2026-131, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Ropes Tree and Stump Service for the removal of trees in various locations. Ordinance number 2026-132, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the city of Ashtabula for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater facilities and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan. Ordinance number 2026-133, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to dispose of obsolete and unneeded vehicles, round 3. And on for first reading, ordinance number 2026-134, an ordinance repealing in its entirety existing codified ordinance chapter 761.99 entitled Sale of Tobacco Products to Persons Under 21 Years Old, penalty to impose new fines and criteria for license suspension. Ordinance number 2026-135, an ordinance adopting new codified ordinance chapter 761.99 entitled Sale of Tobacco Products to Persons Under 21 Years Old, penalty.
Thank you, Ms. Milberg. That wasn't too bad tonight, huh?
Not tonight.
Okay, can we have a motion to approve the order of our agenda this evening? Mr. Guerrero moves.
Second.
Ms. Holman seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will approve our agenda by a 6-0 vote. Are there any special items, communications? At this time, we will have citizen comments. Any citizen who would like to address council may do so. All you need to do is approach the podium, state your name and your address, or some identifying information. And you are limited to 5 minutes to share your thoughts and comments with us. Any citizens at this time?
I have some questions.
Please state your name and address, please.
Tyler Diaz. I live in Geneva, 236 South Eagle Street, apartment number 2.
Yeah, just Geneva is fine. Okay, thank you, Mr. Diaz. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just have some questions. So one, I just wanted to know, because I heard that it was a bad situation, or it's been bad for a couple of years, but, you know, what is the homeless situation looking like in Ashtabula?
The homeless situation, and we had a police report about 2 or 3 months ago. The police came and reported to us on the homeless situation as they were viewing, as they were dealing with it, And they come back every so often and share with us, you know, what the current situation is.
Yeah.
But at that time, I think it was April maybe, they had realized a decrease in the number of homeless people
Oh, okay, yeah.
that they were finding and interacting with. They were still quite busy. I don't want to give the impression that it's not a situation. They were still quite busy, you know, and working with them in different groups, but they felt at that time that there had been a decrease
Wow.
in activity.
Okay. Another question. So I seen last week on the website, on the live stream, that you guys said that a loan was taken out, and I think that's what I overheard with the wastewater treatment. So the Ashtabula City took out a loan. Does that sound right?
Yes.
So it sounds like we don't have money, right? Like Ashtabula, are we lacking money in some way?
Well, the loan that we took, well, the one we mentioned tonight, I don't know what loan we mentioned last week. Did we mention a loan last week?
I don't think
2
we,
weeks ago?
Mr. President, I don't think we mentioned a loan last week, but the loan that we're discussing today, that's a $23 million loan. We don't have $23 million in cash laying around. And that was based on a rate analysis we did with the wastewater treatment plant and improvements that we need to do down there. That loan, I believe it, as I mentioned, it's either 15 or 30 years, and we'll have a repayment schedule on that. Typically in our enterprise funds, we do have to take loans for those because those are based on rates.
Right, okay. So,
Mr. President, we also, like, we have a loan for fire truck.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We have lots of loans.
oh, wow. Yeah, I see. So it sounds like we're lacking money if we have to take out loans, you know? So.
No, this is how you balance cash flow.
Oh, how's that work?
You don't expend all of your cash up at once, but you have the reserves to pay back the loans.
Yeah.
And also to have money set aside for rainy day. We had about a $6 million carryover last year into this year, so.
I think you'll find most governing bodies, villages, cities, probably schools, probably all have some kind of loans that they're dealing with.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right. And I guess finally here, I guess is a question for anyone, I guess, but, you know, what can be done in Ashtabula that would improve the citizens' way of living? Like, because an example being, so I grew up, me growing up in Ashtabula, I grew up with, like, you know, drugs in the house. So I know drugs seemed like a big problem for me growing up. I don't know if it's still a problem today, but, like, you know, just for the people, you know, like, what does Ashtabula City do for the people? You know what I mean?
That's a big question, isn't it? But I think Ashtabula, we try to do our best. We have our police department, you know, very busy, controlling traffic and like you say, drugs and crimes. We have our fire department, you know, servicing the residents in a whole variety of ways. We have our public works department, you know, cutting grass, picking up garbage.
Okay.
All those kind of things. So the city is, I think, constantly in a variety of ways trying to make, you know, Ashtabula a good place to live and a good place to do work. And we count on our residents to help us do that also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we count on our residents to cut their grass, to keep their yard looking nice, to, you know, police the yard, police their neighborhoods, for whatever, report to the city when something is not right. I know all of us counselors up here, we get a lot of phone calls, you know, about different situations, so,
Okay. All right, yeah, that's all I got.
okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How long have you lived in Geneva?
It's been probably like 3 years now.
So 3 years ago, you lived in Ashtabula?
Yeah, I grew up in Ashtabula too, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from 3 years ago till today, when you drive through, what changes do you see?
What changes do I see? I don't know. I feel like, well, I also go to, I can't really tell, honestly. I feel like, yeah, I can't really say because I don't live in Ashtabula, you know what I mean? So I can't really say, I can really make an observation on what I see. But,
Okay.
yeah, I just had some questions, and that was all,
Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I think too, we have a lot of human service organizations, Catholic Charities, Community Action, Community Counseling, Geo Ministries, different food pantries. So, and trying to get folks where they're at, maybe to the next level. And also in the schools, different programs now with meals, and then like ARMC, you know, they can see the doctor there. And so trying to get people physically and mentally where they need to be from school age on up. So I think that's one big support that Ashtabula City has that a lot of municipalities don't. We have a lot of, quote, help organizations. So I think sometimes we forget that because we're just so used to that, but a lot of people do, you know, then you'll hear that, oh, come for that. But I mean, we do serve a lot of folks to try to get people as independent as they can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Mills, also. Anyone else who would like to address council?
My name is John Keene. I live at 1007 East 23rd Street. I have a house next door to me that is, I know for a fact, nobody has lived in for 25 years. And talking to my sister, nobody's lived there probably 30 years. I have some pictures of that house I would like to pass through y'all. I think you're my ward guy?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyways, right now, the city has put a notice up on that house about the owner coming in and having a inspection. 3 years ago, that house was on a demolition list. The city come down, met the guy, he slapped a little paint on it, a couple of things like this, and it's still sitting the same way. Now, structurally, I don't think the house is safe at all. Instead of a city housing inspector looking at it, if we had a structural engineer who looked at it, the footer does not look like a proper footer, but of course the place was many years ago. The back side of the house, somebody tried to build basically a pole barn back there, and I don't think that's city ordinance. But I'd like for y'all to possibly, each and every one of you, take a ride by that house, pull in my drive and just walk around the house and see what you think about the house. But like I said, I'd like to let you pass these through.
That's fine.
What was the address?
Excuse me?
What was the address?
The house that I'm talking about is
Yeah,
1013.
You can, Mr. Key, you give the pictures to the clerk here, she'll pass them down to us.
Mr. President, so I believe it was your brother that mentioned this house at our last meeting, and that's, we sent the inspectors out there to take a look. So
Yeah.
we'll be following up with them.
Okay,
Yep.
and like I said, this house was on a demolition list like 3 years ago, and some way
don't-
it got through.
I don't remember that one being on a demolition list, but we'll do what we need to do to talk to the owner and see what's going on with the home.
Okay, because when they come down, and, I mean, it was wide open in the back at the time, and that got closed up, just, piecemeal.
Okay.
And all the rodents come over to my house, and I've been fighting them for 2 years. But, I try to take care of my property, and even behind me, there's another house back there that is not in any better condition.
Mr. Keene, that's the one that I thought you were originally talking about, the one that's down that road?
No.
Does anybody live in that house?
Nope, no. Yeah, not
No,
now.
I mean,
Yeah.
only know, I know what's back there, but I mean.
Yeah, nobody's lived there probably at least, 6, 7 years, so.
Thank you, Mr. Keene. I know this is not what people like to hear, though, but the process to rectify these situations takes time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when our solicitor or the housing department does something, sometimes the owner may respond, and then that gives him extra time to do, so it's a slow process. But the thing is, it's on the city's list now, they've made contact, so.
John, I don't even think there's a gas meter on the house anymore.
Yeah, no, but like I said,
Over the weekend, a telephone pole got hit in front, they ripped the cable.
yeah,
They wouldn't even put the house back
no,
on.
yeah. Well, like I said,
This house has been like this for at least 25 years, because that's how long I've lived in the house that I'm in.
okay, all right.
There's an electric meter, though.
There's an electric meter.
It's on
In
there,
one of these
but
pictures.
it's not hooked up now, not after last week, that's a Saturday night.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else who would like to address council? Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
if you don't mind, while we're talking about East 23rd Street, most of you know of the home that we've had issues with for years and years.
Yeah, yeah,
The owner has gone to jail, all that fun stuff. I have finally received bids to clean out the backyard. It looks like it's going to cost us upwards of about between $6,700 and $7,000 to clean out that property. We are now working with the contractor to figure out what dates they will be able to go there. Then notice will be delivered to the resident stating, here's the dates we're coming, make sure everything's out of the way so that we can get to the backyard and clean it up. It might be a multi-day adventure, but we are working on it, and we'll eventually send him the bill for that. My guess is it won't be paid. It will then go on the property taxes.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. President, can I please be informed of when that is going to take place?
I see he's got a big truck now parked in their driveway.
That's what we're afraid of, that he'll keep things, but I believe in the notice, the solicitor's office has advised us to say that path needs to be clear, and if it's not clear, we will tow those vehicles as well.
Yeah, yeah, I thought, okay. We're happy to hear that, at least.
Hey, Mr. President?
Yes,
And I encourage, like Mr. Keen, and for residents out there, we're very accessible. You can call me anytime, the counselors email, or, because the longer it waits, the worse it gets. So, and like, I ride my bike around, or I drive around, but we're not everywhere, and, you know, neither are the inspectors. So we count on folks like you to let us know, because we don't know what we don't know, so thank you. But the sooner we know, the sooner we can get on it, because it's a process. Yeah, thank you so much.
Bobby, Mr. King?
My name is Bobby Keane, live at 1733 West 15th Street. I know I talked to you about this house. Actually, it's behind my daughter's house. She lived next to me. Behind her house, the house on 14th Street on the corner of, I think that's Pennsylvania and 14th. You know, I've been here a couple of times. I mentioned about the backyard, it's a jungle. I don't think they mow the front grass. You can't mow the back because there's too much junk. It ain't getting done.
I know, what, Mr. Timmer, I don't want to put you on the spot, but has the housing people been there? I know
Mr. President, I believe that address was reported, so I'd have to double check and find out.
I know we've reported that address several times.
I just want to let you know, I'm still waiting for it to get done.
Yeah, like I know, I said it,
I go and I work in her backyard, I work in my backyard, trying to clean things up, make things look better, but
it's,
then you sit down, take a break, and you look at this other and think,
Yeah.
what the hell am I doing?
yeah. Okay, any other citizens? Okay, thank you. Any counselor comments or meeting announcements? We will move on to the approval of our minutes. Ms. Milberg?
July 6th, 2026, pre-council meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by President Roskovich. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Simeone, Mr. Guerrero, Mrs. Mills, Ms. Holman, Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present, City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes?
So moved.
Mrs. Mills will move, I will second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading of those minutes by a 6-0 vote.
July 6, 2026 regular council meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. by President Roskovich. Mr. Simeone offered the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited. Present, Mr. Roskovich, Mr. Simeone, Mr. Guerrero, Mrs. Mills, Ms. Holman, Mrs. DiGiacomo. Officers present, City Manager Timonier, City Solicitor Cooper, Finance Director Khan, and Clerk of Council Milberg.
May I have a motion to waive the reading of these minutes?
So moved.
Mr. Guerrero moves.
Second.
Mr. Simeone will second.
Ms. Mills. Seconded, didn't you?
Any discussion?
Ms. Mills seconded.
I don't know if you did too.
I heard Mr. Simeone. Thank you, though, for your help. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the reading by a 6-0 vote. We will now move on to our legislation this evening. Would you please read the items for us again?
Ordinance number 2026-131, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Brobst Tree and Stump Service for the removal of trees in various locations. Ordinance number 2026-132, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to apply for, accept, and enter into a water pollution control loan fund agreement on behalf of the city of Ashtabula for planning, designing, and/or construction of wastewater facilities and designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan. Ordinance number 2026-133, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to dispose of obsolete and unneeded vehicles, round 3.
Thank you. Is it, yeah,
I just wanted to make a comment on 132, Mr. President.
okay, let's make a motion for.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is there a motion to handle these items in consent agenda format?
So moved.
Ms. Holman moves, Mr. Simeone seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will do so by a 6-0 vote. Please go ahead.
I just, to piggyback on Ms. Holman's question about how long have we known? People have been talking about those pipes under that river for 30 years.
Mr. President, Mr. Guerrero, this is not part of that.
That's for the downflow part, right?
This is for actual work at the plant on
plant.
Woodland, yes. The next number I bring you back will include those siphons underneath the river, and you'll be praying that we had the $23 million loan.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right, Mr. Guerrero. Okay. Thank you. Can I have a motion to waive the reading of these items of legislation in their entirety? I will move.
Second.
Mrs. Mills will second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will waive the entire reading by a 6-0 vote. Is there a motion to waive the charter requirements of 2 readings?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Holman moves, Mrs. DiGiacomo seconds. Is there any discussion? Would you please call the roll?
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone? Yes. Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
We will waive the 2 readings by a 6-0 vote. We will now vote on the adoption of these items.
Mr. Guerrero?
Yes.
Mr. Simeone?
Yes.
Mr. Roskovich?
Yes.
Ms. Holman?
Yes.
Mrs. Mills?
Yes.
Mrs. DiGiacomo?
Yes.
These items of legislation have passed by a 6-0 vote. Continue on, please, Ms. Milberg.
Ordinance number 2026-134, an ordinance repealing in its entirety existing codified ordinance, Chapter 761.99, entitled Sale of Tobacco Products to Persons Under 21 Years Old, penalty to impose new fines and criteria for license suspension. Ordinance number 2026-135, an ordinance adopting new codified ordinance, Chapter 761.99, entitled Sale of Tobacco Products to Persons Under 21 Years Old, penalty.
Is there a motion to waive the reading of this legislation in its entirety? Mr. Guerrero moves.
Second.
Mrs. Mills will second. Any discussion?
I have a question. In layman terms, or to a individual under 21 years old, what does this mean to them?
Mr. President, this really doesn't mean much to that individual person. This means, this mostly concerns the stores. So the stores need to be checking IDs, asking for ages, or the stores can be severely penalized if they sell tobacco to under 21. And this does
Was
include,
it always 21? Did it used to be 18?
it's been 21 as long as I've known it. It may have been 18 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
So for the, were you finished, Mr. Kamala?
Yeah.
So for the under 21, I don't know that they care, but they're putting in jeopardy the establishments from which they purchase tobacco.
Very, very much so, yes. If you see on there, it could be a suspension of their license to sell tobacco products. A lot of these convenience stores, you know, unfortunately for the community's health, that's their bread and butter. So yes, they could be putting a business in jeopardy by trying to purchase under 21.
And when you say severe, could you sort of quantify that a little bit?
Well, I think if I think it's on the third offense where their license can be suspended for up to a year. I mean, to not be able to sell.
It's on the fourth one,
Fourth offense. Yeah.
on the fourth one, yeah.
License to operate.
Not to, just to sell tobacco products. They can still sell the rest, but again, they probably have, I don't know that world, but I'm sure the margins are decent on tobacco. And this also includes vaping products as well.
Mr. Manager, plus they have to remove all the tobacco products from all areas accessible to the public when
Correct.
it's suspended. And it went from, because I copied both of them, from just 30 days and $800 to $1,000 and for a whole year. So that's a big,
Yes.
that's a big jump, which is good. They've all increased, 200 to 500, 400 to 750, and 600 to 1,000, and suspending their license. So I think that's a good thing, because I know Mrs. DiGiacomo was wondering about, vaping is included, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, and I think there's, which I don't know the stats on that, but it seems like people were more, because they would make those as flavors and different things. So to me, you know, for a younger person, it's, you know, that's like something that's, I don't know, maybe if it sounds like it's okay, but it's same effect, a bad health risk. So when would this go in effect, after the second reading then?
Yes, I believe that's, I don't.
August 3rd is our next meeting.
Don't recall if we put a date of. September 1st.
Oh, September 1st, okay.
So, and it's the Board of, it's our health.
Board of Health has recommended this be passed by council, and this actually is an ordinance of council.
And they go into the establishments to do
That's
the
correct.
check, double check. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, we have a
I thought that was a state and federal law. You cannot sell nothing to a minor under the age of 18, or the age of 21.
Mr. President, it is the state law. This is our local ordinances of what happens if establishment is found to be selling underage. In the state of Ohio, as a whole, the instances of underage sales to minors is high. It's very high as compared to the rest of the country. So there is a push by the Ohio Department of Health plus local health departments to revamp these penalties, and there will be, I guess for lack of a better term, secret shoppers going around and auditing these establishments. And if they're caught by that, that's when the penalties and everything start to be imposed.
Okay, so we have a motion and our second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We will pass that by a 6-0 vote, and that'll show up next on August 3rd for a second reading and passage. Okay. We have no items tonight for second readings. We have no administrative approval votes. So we come to the time of our meeting when there's, tell us something we don't know. Does anyone have anything that they would like to share with council?
Mr. President?
Yes.
I know we're into summer, but it's going to be back to school, so I can't even believe this, but the GOCDC, which is on around the corner, 3703 Station Avenue. So the back-to-school event is already Saturday, August 1st, so coming quickly, from 10 to noon. You can go online, or I think you can stop in and get a paper application. Registration ends July 26th. So that day we'll have shoes, socks, backpacks, lunch. We're going to be grilling hot dogs, chips, drinks, Dairy Queen ice cream, face painting, hygiene, toiletry items, school supplies, and then whatever we have left in there for clothing will be set out. So that's a big day because it's important for children. When you go to school, you feel better when you have new shoes, new clothes to wear, you have the right supplies. It seems like it's set you up for a better, successful first day. So that's going on. I did look up some of the recycling information because some people have reached out to me on how does that work. So you can go to the City of Ashtabula website, and then it's got the blue tabs across the top. And let's see, you go to, it's got the departments, and then you'll find sanitation. You scroll almost to the bottom, and it says, info on city curbside recycling found here. There's a line under it. You click on that. It'll give you everything if you want to start working on things or whatever. But it's got all kinds of good stuff, and it even tells you that plastics are now recycled. Most are labeled on the bottom with a recycling symbol with arrows clockwise that either have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any rigid food container or other consumer product container labeled can now be included. Plastic items not accepted. Plastic bags, shrink wrap, styrofoam, toys, motor oil, antifreeze, containers. Recycling a ton of plastic saves the energy equivalent of 1,500 gallons of gasoline. So it's got everything that would go on, the magnets that go out, all that info is there. So if people want to sort of look ahead, because I know sometimes people will still put the items into the blue and yellow containers in plastic bags. So you can bag them at home. When you go outside to put them in your container, they want them loose in there, correct, Mr. Manager? The items go
That's
in,
correct.
not bagged. So just a little getting prepped, but all that stuff eventually will go out. And do we have any news on anything with containers or anything?
Mr. President, Ms. Mills, this is going to be a process. Obviously, we did meet last week
Okay.
with the sanitation crew about when we're going to start changing routes for garbage to meet the recycling demand. I've pulled the active list from the finance department of trash accounts. Unfortunately, those did not come with what wards those addresses were in. So today I finally finished adding the wards to over 6,000 streets and addresses. So I'm doing so to make sure that we have the correct count of toters that we're going to order. From the time we order them, it's about 4 weeks. And then the county will be doing the request for a contractor to be able
stamping.
to deliver them curbside.
Okay.
we're a little ways away right now.
Mr. President, I have something.
Yes,
I just want to remind everyone that come to beautiful Ward 2 for the Wine and Walleye Festival
This weekend.
this weekend.
It's beautiful.
And the fireworks are when?
Saturday night, right?
Saturday night. with the boat
Saturday
parade,
night at
right after the
dark.
boat parade.
At dark.
At dark. Mr. President, I did go to the Welcome Home program open house that was on 3835 Station Avenue on Sunday. They had an open house. It's sort of like it's a raw structure for right now. It's, everything's all framed in and all that kind of stuff. They're still doing the water line. There was a couple other things. But it was amazing. People were kind of slowly, rolling in through. So getting excited about that. So they're going to have a official ribbon cutting at some point. I don't want to say, but it sounds like maybe September, end of August or something. So that it'll be all done, everything completed and staged. So if you look for that information, and then there have 2 other sites to start those new builds. So that was kind of exciting.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Mr. Keene, you are right. For those folks who are streaming, they sent that the Ohio Tobacco 21 law took effect October 17th. Age to purchase tobacco and vaping products 21, that happened October 15, 2019.
Thank you. Anyone else who would have anything they'd like to share with us this evening? Seeing nothing, just remember, it's summer in Ashtabula, and that's fun, and that's good, and so we want to enjoy that. And other than that, our next meeting is going to be August 3rd, Monday, August 3rd, 2026. And so until then, we'll see you out Bridge Street, and we'll see you other streets also.